Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Do you like my shirt?
Yes.
I see some ladies smiling. I see some men a little worried. Do you want to know what it's all about? For the past 10 years, I've been researching, implementing, and practicing delight. But before I go into details, allow me to take you with me with a few real-life stories. Let me take you with me 70 years ago to cold Poland post-World War II. Malnourished, 14 years old Hanna Zelizer. She was an orphan. She lost all her family, homeless, penniless. And she had nightmares through the 6 years of being in the war. She's seen her entire family slaughtered in front of her eyes, but then she decided that she has a purpose. She wants to be a pediatrician to save lives and to heal others. And that purpose burned in her blood and kept her with hope and meaning. Now you tell me today, if any 14-year-old girl with 3 years of education would make it to medical school, but she works and she studies, she had one dress, she washed it at night, and she put it on the heater. She eat the bread in the students' cafeteria, and she makes it with A from top to bottom, with one exception of D in Marxism. She finishes medical school, and then she managed to escape the Iron Curtain that covered over Eastern Europe and reach Israel. And finally, she became a pediatrician and heals and saves lives. And then, one day, she sees her son, a 13-year-old son, ignoring an hello for the postman and making a sulking face. She called him, "Come here, bend down." She was only 148 centimeters. "You think you are better than he? You did not say hello to the postman." Every person is a person, no matter for the wealth, for the rank, for the status, for the race, for the religion. Everyone is a person. I expect more of you, Avi. I expect you to be kind. If it's a summer, give him a cold drink. If it's winter, coffee or tea. And I bake a cake every Friday. Give him some. You see, son, everybody wants to feel important. You need to walk through life imagining that every person that you see is wearing a shirt that says, "Delight me." You see, son, the sea is lower than the rivers. And this is why the rivers flow to the sea and not the other way around. Now you decide what you want to be. An arrogant, jerk river or a kind and humble sea. Little did Hannah know that what she says is also supported by science. Many of the things about delight and about kindness and compassion are marked in our religions, traditions, and ways of life. But with availability of MRI scans, researchers postulated that when we receive a dosage of significance, a neurotransmitter called oxytocin, the love hormone, is released in the hypothalamus in our brain and kickstarts a reaction in our reward circuitry when serotonin and the happy hormone dopamine are released and we feel happier. The opposite occurs when we are angry, frustrated, disappointed, ignored. Not only we see the reduction of the happy hormones, we also have the stress hormones coming up, cortisol and adrenaline. Our arteries shrink, our immune system suffer, we lose energy, and we feel tired. I have a confession to make. A month ago, I was operating on jerk operating system. I went to an hotel to meet a friend, and then I remembered that yesterday I hosted someone and I forgot to take my allowance of car park coupon. So I approached the hostess and I said, Remember me yesterday? May I have the car park coupon? She was very serious. She said, can you show me the receipt? Now, the interesting thing that I noticed is the voice in my head goes, she doesn't trust you. And then I gave her the receipt. And she said, do you have your member card? The voice in my head goes louder. She really doesn't trust me. What's wrong? And then she goes and says, okay, I give it to you, but that's the last time. Now, the voice in my head goes so loud, I see all the happy hormones evaporating, and cortisol and adrenaline are jumping high. Then the voice goes not in my brain anymore, but to her, and says, this is not the way to delight the customer. Why are you treating me like I'm a child? Now I was so angry that I gave her back the car park coupon. And then I noticed that she shut down and she wouldn't even look at me. I went out angry, and the worst, I had to pay $8 for the car park. Now I don't want you to remember that I'm just a jerk, so I'll take you with me 6 months earlier to a majestic lobby in a grand hotel in Manila. I was sitting there with Eric, a business partner of one of the big telecom companies, and we were discussing about how when we delight our employees, we delight our customers by making our employees happier. And then he received his coffee with a cookie, and my water came with no cookie. And I wanted the cookie. So I looked at the waiter, and I saw his name tag, and I say, hi, Millard. Hold on. I pretended that I'm having conversation with the cookie. Yes? Really? Millard, the cookie feels lonely. She wants to get married. Would you mind give her a company? Millard smiled, and a few minutes later, he was there with 3 cookies. I felt delighted. You see, the nature of being delighted, the happy hormones kick in, and you feel compelled to reciprocate. So I stopped the first waitress that came, and I asked her, can you tell me who is the floor manager? And she says, I am. I said, great, let me tell you how Millard have delighted me, how he exceeded my expectations. Would you be kind to go to Millard and tell him that I'm grateful for his service? And she said, certainly, sir. And she goes, and I could see from afar Millard getting 1 foot taller with a big smile on his face. When the bill came, I asked him, can you give me the feedback form? And then I wrote a small note for the general manager, who sent me his photograph with 1 cookie and 3. The next day, the lobby was full. But Millard found me and got me to the only table that is available. And that's the nature of Delight Operating System. DOS in short, not by Microsoft, yeah? The minute that you invest and delight others, they feel compelled to delight you. Now, do you want to know how to become a VIP in almost every F&B outlet in the world? Yes or no? Yes. Okay, it's very simple. The people that work in hospitality or service are not working for the big pay and the short hours. They are working there because they want to connect. They want to delight you. When you give them significance and importance, and when you are compassionate and kind when they're stressed and struggling, you are connecting. Call them the name. Make them feel like equals, not objects. And they will reward you. And they're going to develop a relationship with you. They're going to become friends. And how do you treat friends? Better than casual people. So here is a secret. Now, in the past 10 years, my partner, Lenny Ravitch, the best-selling author, the educator, and I have been investing about 10,000 hours to find what delights leaders and managers so they treat the employees and delight the employees and delight the entire chain. We also work for NGOs because that delights us. And we found 13 characteristics of delighting managers and leaders. And I want to share with you 3. The first one, these leaders find it purposeful to delight others. As one of them told me, Avi, I want them to be better than I. When I retire, I want to hear that they say that I am the one person that contributes most to their career. The second thing is that they enjoy better fellowship. The people that work for delightful managers are much happier. They're more proud to work there. They're more engaged. They're more productive. And they give better service. And the third thing, these leaders are also human. And sometimes they can be jerks. But most of the time they delight. And they have clear boundaries not to cross. And they will treat everybody in another 360 dimension. No matter who you are, cleaner or boss, they're going to treat you in the same manner. Now, do you remember the lady with the car park coupon? Now, halfway going home, my mom words hitting me, delight. So I stop the car, I turn around, I go to a shopping center, I buy chocolate, and I go there in order to say to her, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to offend you. It's a system. It's not about you. And sometimes when you go to ice cream parlor and you ask for half chocolate, half vanilla, they say, sorry, sir, only 1 scoop. I say, but it's the same amount of ice cream. Sorry, sir, these are the rules. So whether you are a father, a parent, an employer, a boss, a customer, if you have rules that don't delight, change the rules! So I went to her, and she was not there. So I went up to the general manager who promised me that he's going to give it to her and he's going to change the rules. Now, delight has more to do than just business. And I want to give you the last story for the day. 6 weeks ago, Connie, my neighbor, knocks on the door. She comes with delights, Singapore Sweet Delights. And a yellow sticky note is attached. She said, this is because I was 5 times here trying to give you some delights and you were not there. I said, I hope it's not from that time. We had a nice conversation, and then I remember what triggered it all. In December, we had a party, and we were left with 100 fresh and yummy donuts. So with the help of a beautiful young lady that is sitting here, my daughter, Savion Liran, we went to knock door by door to give this delight to everybody. With the exception of a few suspicion neighbors that didn't open the doors. There were only 2 of those. We could see how people, body language, and state of mind change. From suspicion, are you coming to sell us anything? To delight. The body opens up. They start to communicate. And you know, we are living in a very lonely, concrete jungle where we hardly know our neighbors. Our malls are full with people. Our MRT is congested. But nobody talks. Everybody is on the mobile phone. Delight is kind of a cure for the coldness of our cities. Ever since that day, the neighbors greet us. Do you know what happened when you come to an elevator in Asia? Suddenly, everybody is interested in the color of the ceiling. My daughter already knows when I go into the elevator, if somebody will not say hello to me, I will say, I said hello. Now, May I have the light up on the audience, please? All right. So in a minute, I'm going to put some music on. And what I'm going to ask you is to stand up, find a partner, and tell your partner what are you going to do when you're going to leave this theater to delight someone. And you're going to have 30 seconds. When the music stops, I'll give you further instruction. All right. Back to me. All right, ladies and gentlemen, back to me. Now I have one more instruction before you sit. Before you sit, one more instruction. Look at the eyes of your partner. And if you feel a little bit more positive emotion, give your partner a big round of applause. Lights off, please be seated. Ladies and gentlemen, before we conclude, I suggest that delighting others is great for us. And we need to delight more for ourselves and for others. Delight has the power to connect neighbors, to connect communities. Instead of being me, myself, and I, is us. And friends are one of the recipes to greater well-being, and it's well supported by research. And if you ever forget that, I hope that you're going to remember my mother's Dr. Hannah Gelizer quote. Imagine that everyone that you see is wearing a shirt that says, "Delight me." And in the spirit of TED, I hope that this is an idea worth sharing, and I want to thank you for delighting me with your presence.